All right. Hello, everyone. We should be live now with this Understory webinar, which I have looked very much forward to. I hope the sound is okay and the video works and all of that. And if anything is not working, just let us know in the chat that I will be following as well. Where we currently have a lot of people joining from many different places, Denmark, Italy, many people from Spain as well. So amazing to see. And thank you, Peter, for confirming that the sound is fine, and the rest of you. So, as I mentioned, have been looking very much forward to this. Doing webinars kind of in Understory is actually quite a new thing. It's something we really enjoy. I really appreciate all the people signing in and signing up for this. Today we are going to talk about which is the normal theme for most of the webinars we do, but it's about selling more experiences, right? Or getting more bookings to your experiences. So that's what it's all about. That is what Understory exists to help experienced businesses do and get. So that's also the theme for today. Let's start out by me showing you the presentation that will guide us for today. So the theme and title, as you know already, is 6 things that you can do today to get more bookings for your experience. And I'll get a bit into what that means, but the idea is just kind of high level to really give you something that you can, almost note down now and go and execute on and fix later today, and hopefully from that have a better experience business and get more bookings going forward. So that's the idea, and let's try to achieve that idea together. So first and foremost, a quick intro on myself. My name is, I was meant to show you this front page before. That didn't work, but now we'll go into the intro, which you should be able to see. My name is Lasse. I am one of the 2 founders that started Understory as a business. We did that on the back of working in the experiences industry for more than 10 years. So we, before Understory, was building and running the largest marketplace for experiences in the Nordics, and have just across many years seen the sound is with a lot of echo. I'm glad that you are saying that. Is that the case for everyone? Okay. I hope. Okay. I hope it's only with you, Karina, and so sorry for that. But it shouldn't be the case. The mic should be good and everything. Okay. Thank you, guys. What I was saying is that basically across more than 10 years, we have worked with more than 3,000 experienced businesses across Europe, actually also outside of Europe, and just kind of very closely seen and followed what works. That is based on that experience. Many of the things we'll talk about today is kind of from all of that studying of the industry, I would say, and obviously all the data we have at Understory, right, where we really see what works across many different markets and categories. So before we jump in, a good context for this session is just to explain what Understory is. Essentially, it's an operating system for experienced businesses. So it is and should be everything you need as an experienced business to run and grow your experienced business. So you can think about it in 4 kind of parts. One is kind of the infrastructure layer. That's a bit technical, but we have like an API, a really strong kind of public API. That means that you can use Understory as it is, but you can also customize it to a wide extent. You can implement it and integrate it with other things kind of in your system stack, and so on and so forth. And then you have the middle piece, which is kind of the core product. That's the booking system. It's the calendar administration. It's where you talk with and administrate customers and bookings. It's your team planning and kind of everything that relates around that. That's essentially the system our customers log into every single day to manage their business. That also includes what is actually meeting the guest. We'll talk more about that today. So what we call the storefront product, which is like, the full kind of out-of-the-box website solution we offer, but also implementing Understory and kind of the booking widget on your own website. So that's part of the core product as well. Then you have Understory Pay, which is our payment solution, enabling you to take payments easy and fast with the right payment methods in your specific markets. That includes different cards, mobile payment solutions, and so on. And then finally, Understory Bloom is a fairly new product, but something that a lot of our customers are already using with high success and really strong return on ad spend, you could say. And that is our multi-channel advertising platform. So what we do with Understory Bloom is that we help you get in front of more potential guests and customers across many different advertising platforms, online travel agencies like Get Your Guide and Viator, and so on and so forth. So essentially, when you use Understory Core, you can activate Understory Bloom, and we'll make sure that you get much more reach, much more traffic to your own website, and much more direct booking volume. So that's the Bloom part of our product offering. And those four parts are kind of, in essence, Understory and the products that our customers are using. So with that, going into the agenda for today. So most guests almost book, right? So, but almost isn't a booking. And you could say that in average across kind of the globe, roughly whenever you have 100 potential guests visiting your website and seeing your experience, you should expect that if you are good, actually, you should expect that 95 of those visitors will not book your experience. That's why it's almost in many, many cases. And what you can do is to make that number high, make the 5, right? So the 5% higher, your conversion rate essentially. So your ability to get more of that interest, more of that traffic, convert it into bookings. And there's a lot of kind of science on that topic. There's a lot of kind of advanced stuff you can do. But in most cases, what we see is that it's often the simple foundational stuff that needs to be taken care of. And that is what we are talking about today. And as we just wrote in the chat, if you have any questions or if anything is unclear as I go along, just let us know, and I'll try to kind of catch the question in the chat. And if not, we can also do Q&A at the end of the webinar, of course. So yeah, what we'll talk about today and show you today is 6 changes you can do, 6 things to think about to increase that conversion rate, right? To get more bookings from the traffic you already have to a large extent. So the kind of 6 subtopics is being visible on the right channels, right? So having your experience promoted in the right places. It's ensuring that when your potential guests are deciding if they want to book your experience or not, they need to feel safe, they need to feel informed, they need to feel persuaded at the end of the day to do that booking. And then after the experience, you want to get more out of those guests, right? So there's so much untapped potential when you kind of post experience, you could say. I think maybe what could be fun now is in terms of being visible on the right channels. Before I dive into it, actually, it could be fun to get your view on where you get your bookings from right now. So what's the biggest source of bookings today for you in your experience business? There should be a poll now that you can answer. just wait and see a bit of the. So there's currently a lot of word of mouth, paid ads, OTAs, and then good old manual offline phone and email, also important. All right, that's good. I think word of mouth says a lot about what we are working with, right? Experiences. It's definitely something people talk about, and that's something we want to utilize. But it also says a lot about the potential, probably in many of your businesses. So maybe going back into the presentation, I'm not sure if you can still see that actually. There we are. So that's really the kind of the main point for us when we talk with customers and just like experience businesses as a whole, is that you want to really take control, right? And what's hard to take control over, as some examples are OTAs, right? So marketplaces. It's also word of mouth to some extent, but that's kind of it's still very, very important. And I think that the more word of mouth you have is also a proxy for how good your experience is. So it's definitely a very, very good leading and lagging kind of indicator of the success you have. But the idea is really to build that foundation of traffic around direct, meaning you want as much traffic as possible into your website that will turn into your own guests, where you keep kind of the data and the customer relationship and all of that. It's also in many cases the cheaper way of getting bookings, right? So you don't have to pay the 30%. Not that is necessarily a bad thing. I'll get back to that. But direct, it should really be the foundation. I was just got it, Marco. So maybe not getting too much traffic yet, but thinking about kind of ideas on doing the experience makes sense. But yeah, so the direct part is really about setting up yourself and your direct channel for success. So it's about being present where you need to be present when people are searching for you on Google. So doing Google ads on your brand and kind of related search terms. It's email marketing. It's in many cases a really good idea to do meta advertising. That's also what we help our customers with the Bloom product, among other channels. So that's really 3 ways of building up that direct organic foundation, not organic, but direct foundation for your business. Then kind of on top of that, amplifying that traffic, you could say, is booking sites and marketplaces. We really like marketplaces, so Get Your Guide, Viator, the local ones in different markets. It's definitely something that can add value. The way I think you should think about those is really that they should sell out the kind of remaining 2 or 3 or 5 seats on your tour, for instance, right? It shouldn't be the whole volume, that's too expensive, but using them to fill up the events and the tours you have is a very, very good idea, and something we encourage all our customers to do and be very tactical about it, essentially. And then partners is the final part, which can be very, very valuable. Also a bit more tricky, a bit more market specific, but that's kind of group travel, it's agents, it's hotels, and so on and so forth. I'm sure many of you have those as well, depending on how much you're leaning into tourism versus domestic experience demand. But this is kind of how we see about it, and we cover the full kind of spectrum in terms of how we help our customers through the Bloom product. And yes, there was a question of whether the webinar will be recorded, and it definitely will, and will be sent out afterwards. All right, so let's move on to kind of when you then, so this is about getting the traffic, right? So the direct traffic. And when you then have that direct traffic into your own website and your own foundation, like what is then causing people to either book or not book, right? And throughout that funnel, so from visiting your website and going all the way through to paying for the booking, there's a big drop off. There will always be a big drop off. As I mentioned before, like roughly 95% you should expect, and that's pretty good actually, will drop off. So it's about, the question is really, will you get 2% or 6%? to book your experience, or even 10%. We see that as well in some cases, also depending on what kind of traffic you have. So what are the common kind of simple things you should think about to increase the conversion rate and reduce the drop off, and just make it more clear to your customers? As the slide says, so what we see a lot is too many steps, right? Making it too complex, essentially, to understand your offering, and like requiring too many clicks to just get an idea of what are you actually offering, how does it look, what's the price, when can I do it, and so on. Then unclear pricing, like just be very, very clear on what the price is. No available dates, or just unclear availability is a very big thing as well. So if you have upcoming events, right? So if this boat tour is taking place, then really show that very clearly, right? When is the next tour, and like how often can we expect the boat tour to kind of occur? I just jumping into the chat. So Peter is speaking about foundation. So you want people onto your website and thereby keep the relationship. So meaning Biletto or the likes is a no-go. Biletto and the likes are not a no-go, but it should not be your kind of main source of traffic, and you should not kind of rely your whole business on Biletto and similar marketplaces. What you should use marketplaces for is to kind of, as I mentioned, fill up a few extra seats and pay the commission they charge, but you want your own foundation, you want your own booking system, you want your own kind of website with your own really beautiful booking experience, and then use the marketplaces on top of that, right? So it's not a no-go, but you really really need to think about how to use it in the kind of grand scheme of your marketing mix, essentially. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, Peter. Then another kind of friction point we see a lot is just low quality images or kind of visual assets in general. So images, video, really, it's better to have like 5 or 3 really, really high quality visual assets than 20 bad ones, right? And with AI these days, even if you have something that is not that crisp and clear, like use AI to make it crisp and clear, not to make it unauthentic, but just to tweak it a bit and make it a bit more kind of crisp, and use that, or just like have someone with a good, like even an iPhone, right? Do some good photos, do some good videos with people on it. The core thing about images is really use them to make the potential guest imagine how it would be being on that experience, right? And that's why humans in those images are so important when we are talking about experiences. At least that's what we see across many different experiments and data that we have. Then a limited payment option, right? So you probably already know this, but not supporting Apple Pay, Google Pay, and the mobile payment methods across many different markets is a no-go, right? You need that. So be very, very clear on that, and ensure that you don't require your potential guests, sitting on the bus or even sitting in the plane to find their credit card physically and having to enter the kind of the card number and so on. That should not be the case anymore, and you will definitely see bookings being missed on the back of that. So really think about payment options. And then no clear CTA, which stands for call to action, right? Normally like the button, the book now button, just very, very important. It should not be hidden. We see many cases of experienced businesses that have, the book button at 3 pages down the website, impossible to find. It should be front and center, close to the availability and the price. Like if you want to book, you should know exactly what to click, right? Very, very important. We did a study once where we kind of did eye tracking on guests that were visiting. Obviously, I like a proof study where we did eye tracking of guests that were visiting experience websites. And what we found is that kind of the way they were facing what they were looking at is they started out looking at the images, right? So it's about imagining the experience. So imagining a boat tour. You want to see the boat, you want to see the ocean, you want to see the nature, you want to see other people having a good time, because then you can imagine yourself being on that boat tour and kind of get persuaded to investigate more, right? Then from that, they looked at the price. And then from that, they looked at what do I actually get, right? So it's about, I can imagine doing that. It sounds interesting, or it looks interesting. do I want to pay what it costs? And if that's a yes, or maybe a maybe, then I look at, okay, what do I actually get? Like, so how many how long is the experience, like where is it, all of that, like really the facts about the experience. And then after that, in some cases, they read the full description and they see the social proof to get like that final nudge. So thinking about that order is very, very important. And that final point from this page is that you should, with your own experience website, do some testing, right? So what we recommend everybody, and we do it also ourselves with our own website and product, is like go to a coffee shop, find some friendly people and ask them if you can buy them a cup of coffee if they want to test your website, and just have them test your website on a phone or laptop and have them think out loud in terms of what they understand and what they see. With that, you'll find things you hadn't thought about in terms of where the friction points is, what is unclear, what you thought they would understand as X, but they understand it in a completely different way. So that's really something we recommend everybody do. And it's pretty cheap, right? 5 cups of coffee and you get a ton of insights. Because of time, just wanted to mention, I will save the good questions for the Q&A at the end. So not ignoring them, just saving it to the end, but keep them coming, and then we'll do it at the end. All right, moving on. So what I want to do now is actually just show you an example of actually an Understory customer that has a pretty good and crisp experience page. Like, there's definitely ways to improve it, but like, it's a page with a good conversion rate, and they do a lot of the stuff that I think is kind of important, or we think that is important when selling an experience. So just making the switch to a more live example right here. 1 second. Like that. So you should be able to see it now. So what you see here is it's Copenhagen Distillery, a wonderful place in Copenhagen, distillery, obviously. And what they do is they sell a lot of experiences and workshops and events and so on. What is good about this page, and there's definitely things you could improve, I'll get back to that, but it's very, very clear. It's very easy to find it, and obviously they funnel a lot of traffic directly into this landing page. It's very easy to understand what you are getting, right? So the image does a lot of the heavy lifting. It could be with more humans, or like seeing more humans having fun while doing the experience, but still you get a good idea of what it is. And then, like, availability, you immediately get a sense of the price, and that is something you can do pretty frequently, right? So it's just about selecting when it's the right fit for you. The call to action, and this is the part they have implemented from Understory. The call to action, like book now, is very clear. Like, you are not in doubt where to click if you want to proceed. There's even like the buy gift card option, and also the wait list that we'll get back to. And then from there, you can dive into it, like get more understanding, right? You can learn more about the experience, and they even have the social proof, right? So it's not only you that think this might be a good idea. Other people have actually thought about the same, booked it, and was very happy afterwards. Always very important to show if you have the option to do so. And collecting those reviews on Google is a really good starting point, as they do here as well, and then they feed it into their site. And then more kind of content for the ones that really want to understand the details, down here at the bottom, and then other potential experiences that you could also do at the same place. One thing I would change, probably at least test, is to up in this top section have more I would say, like, more of the facts, right? So adding some content on what do I actually get, like how much do I get to taste, how long is the experience, so on and so forth. That could be kind of used and kind of placed in this kind of top prime real estate on the website. Also, because on a phone you have to scroll a lot, right, to get the full sense of the experience. But other than that, a really strong example, I would say, of a high converting experience website. All right. So next up, quickly, also time is running fast, is if any of you guys have a website we should do like live feedback on, then put it in the chat. Happy to try and do that. Obviously, it might be perfect, so I won't have any notes, but we'll see. And if not, I'll just move on. But just waiting a few seconds to see if anybody is up for a live feedback session on your experience page. There's one here from, actually two, amazing. So there you go. Very cool. I'll just go with the first one. It's pedalandpause.com, which I think is a Spanish business. Let me just make a change here so that you all can see it. All right. So I am now, I just want to make sure you see it now? Yes, you do. Okay. So I am now entering Pedal and Pause. So I'm just trying to imagine that I am someone in this destination that have heard about it maybe, or found it on Google, or maybe the AI recommended to me. I saw it on Instagram, whatever it might be. Anyways, I ended up here, right? So I get an immediate feeling of kind of what it is. It's about going on cycling trips in what seems to be amazing nature. I think that the video has could be a bit more crisp, but I think that's minor details. Then there's like the mandatory cookie thing down here. Perfect. Okay. Then you have like this floating build your experience. My first impression is that what does it mean to build your experience? Maybe too early to ask me to do that. But I'm not ready to kind of click it yet. And up here in the menu, you have about our events, our packages, shop, and gift card. That's perfect to have. I would have, I think, a button up here, probably the clearest kind of call to action, which should just be book, right? That takes me into kind of selecting the experience. And not everyone is ready for that, but I would include it and kind of track how many are clicking it. That is kind of missing, I would say. And then there's a good About Us page, section, see our packages. Got it. So I think like a lot of good content. I have an idea of what it is, but I think I would like kind of front and center, maybe actually here, get a sense of what are actually the products, like what are the experiences, the tours I can do. I think I need to click here, right? And then you have some, day experience, multi-day experience. Already now I get a better sense of like kind of the different options. I would put this more front and center of the website, maybe with the exact different the exact different experiences, right? So if I go to day tours, that's what I want. Then I get something that looks a bit different from the rest of the website. That might be fine. Pedal and Pause, discover your first taste of wine country. Guided tasting. All right. This is good. My question in my head is like, is this still on a cycle, or is it? It is bring your own bike. That could be more clear, like I don't know, bike and wine, something like that. Make it more clear in the title. I think the images does some of that work, right? There's wine, there's bikes, so that makes sense. There's price. I actually thought this was a call to action with the color, but it seems I can't click it. So let's say this sounds perfect for me. I'm in the region. I want to do this. Like this is a no-brainer. Where do I click, right? So how do I move on from here? How to book? Okay, this is too far down. Online, I'm already online. WhatsApp, I don't have WhatsApp. Advanced notice, that's fine. But I really want to book this. So what do I do, right? And also I want to know if I can do it today or maybe tomorrow, because we'll leave the day after tomorrow to go home from vacation. So I'm a bit stuck right now. And like, this is not to be too kind of critiquing. I'm just thinking out loud. I really like the images, and like, it sounds like a very stellar experience, I would say. And I really want to do it, actually. I just need to know how. Maybe I can go back and build your experience. But then that's kind of a loop, right? So I think being much more, and it might be me that is dumb, but being much more clear on just how to book it, like really clear flow, book it here, like very clear button should be the clearest thing, selecting the date, and then kind of moving on from there would be, sorry, okay, I think I just quickly I just want to quickly show this because I was sharing the wrong. It didn't follow my clicks, but essentially what I was doing is I went into here and then I saw this, which seems amazing, right? I get some more information, the price and everything, but I didn't know how to book, right? So there was no, I thought this was a button, but it wasn't. And then it was like how to book, but that didn't help me. And that was kind of the main point, right? Like make it more easy for me to book it and pay it immediately and see when I can book it. And sorry for not, sorry for the stream not following my clicks. All right, very interesting. Because of time, we cannot do more, but I'll definitely look at the other ones later on. Lots of interesting experiences for sure. So thank you very much for sharing. Let's move into the stream again. Awesome. So in terms of that, right, maybe a bit related to what we just saw. So really nice website, amazing experience, an amazing region. It definitely kind of conveyed a lot of passion also, which is very nice. But maybe like what are the key questions to answer, right? And keep that in mind when you kind of design the thing and the website. So what are the meeting points, right? Key practical information essentially, like what is this? Where is it? What should I bring? That's not the first thing to answer, but you should definitely have it. Who is it for? Like, is it for instance, the wine and bike ride? Can I bring kids? Is that possible? Obviously, they shouldn't taste the wine, but can I bring them to some extent? Then what makes the experience special? I think images and stuff like that, social proof can do a lot of that and really tell a lot of that. Then, as we mentioned before, top thing that should be the main thing. And I think the videos on the case we just saw were really good. So like quality images or video, right? Explain to me what is this experience like. Have me imagine going on that experience. And then social proof. What do other people think? Like nobody want to go into an empty bar, right? We all want to go into the bar that is stuffed with a queue out the door because other people have said this is the place to be. It's the same with experiences, right? So you want to make that, you want to give your potential guest that idea of the full bar, essentially just an experience from an experience perspective. So that's important as well. Then another example, just from another customer that is using our kind of storefront product, also really nice images. They even have videos also that is kind of also playing when you go to their website. It's a company called Let's Clay in Copenhagen. What they do very clearly is they tell who is this experience for, right? So especially if you do like artisanal craft stuff, many people are kind of in doubt. I really want to learn this, but like, I haven't tried it at all before. Is this for me? And if it's not, like, be very clear about that. So if it's for beginners, state that and so on, right? So that's very important because otherwise people get kind of in doubt. They might not kind of have enough confidence and they just want to kind of, and then at the end of the day, they don't book it, which is a shame. And then social proof, as we mentioned before, very, very important. So make sure to collect reviews on the right platforms and then show that front and center, right? We really want to tell that this is the full bar and you should join the party for sure. We all love it, so come and join the good times. And then another example is from another customer in New York, which is a coffee roastery and bar doing a lot of courses and tastings. It's called La Cabra. I think it actually means the goat, which is kind of nice. I know we have a lot of Spanish people, so hopefully I'm right. But what they are really, really good at is like imagery. So they have really, really amazing beautiful images that really speaks to people kind of passionate about this craft, which works really well. And then kind of what we have on our storefront product, which is just very, very important, and I recommend everybody have it, is like a bulleted list Yes, I get confirmed that La Capa is the goat. So that's good. But what is included, right? So have that not as a kind of a big section of text, but just in bullets and kind of with the check marks, right? It's very, very easy for the guest to just understand what do I actually get. And I agree, Marta, it's amazing coffee. All right. Then another thing that we see working really well is waitlists. So not only if you kind of are booked out, but also in general, right? Have people or allow people, potential guests, to sign up for your waitlist. So when you are launching new dates, when like someone is canceling their booking on a filled up tour, that like other people should get notified, so you can sell that seat to different customers, and so on and so forth. One of the kind of what we do, right, is that when you have signed up for a wait list and new dates are being published or some dates are being kind of freed up, then you get an email. The conversion rate from that email is crazy high. Like, so it's a really, really strong automated source of bookings, and also a way to get the email from your potential guests in a good way, where you can then do email marketing and so on. Obviously, if you have the right kind of permission from them to do that. So waitlists is a really, really strong functionality that you should make sure to have. It's part of Understory and also part of, I would hope, other similar solutions. So really think about that when choosing solution also. Yeah. Then kind of one of the final things is post experience, right? So when you have people going on the amazing wine and bike tour, I'm making up the name now because I can't remember the title, but so for now it's a wine and bike. But this amazing experience, I'm sure like people are thrilled when they do the experience, but also after, like that is a memory, right? You'll never forget that. And what you really want to pass on as human beings are amazing memories, right? You want to talk about them with friends and families, and you even want to gift it. So many businesses are not utilizing that. So they have people going on their experience. They say goodbye, farewell, thank you for today, and that's it, right? That's a mistake. And it's a very expensive mistake. So what you want is an automated post-experience email flow. And it might sound more complex than it is. It's very simple. With a tool like Understory, it's fully integrated to different email marketing solutions, very easy to set up. It's almost set it and forget it. You just need to how to set it up in the right way. And we can also help with that. And then it just runs right. So every guest gets the right emails, 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, and so forth after the experience. And this will be custom for every single experience business. It doesn't always make sense to send something 2 weeks after. It doesn't always make sense to nudge a gift card sale and so on and so forth. But still, kind of the idea is the same, right? So very important and something we recommend everybody setting up. And what's amazing with this is you can track it, right? You can see how many people get the email. You can see how many click it. You can even see how many actually book a new experience from that email flow. And even more importantly, maybe buy the gift card from that email automation flow. And it doesn't come with kind of a cost continuously. It's about setting it up and then it works. So really important stuff. And it's also the way to get those reviews in that you need for the social proof that will then increase your conversion rate from interest to bookings. Gift card, obvious, right? But you need to have a gift card solution. Some people or some businesses only doing experience for tourists might say it's not relevant. I would say it is actually, because I would love to pass on a gift to an experience in a destination where I know like family or friends are going for as a wedding gift or whatever it might be. So I actually think it's relevant for everybody. And it's just a very, very strong source of cash flow, bookings, and just a way to capture intent in a different way, right? And capture that word of mouth with money behind it, which is very important as well. So ensure you have a good gift card solution on the kind of Pedal and Pause website we saw before. I didn't click it, but they had a clear gift card solution, which was amazing to see. As this example also has, so in the main menu, they have book a class, private events, gift cards. 3 kind of main points, right? Easy to find, easy to see. There's a bit with the contrast, you could say, but that's a design thing. But other than that, it's pretty easy to see. And what you can do if you have a good gift card solution, is that you can send amazing persuading gift card emails automatically to the customers that already love your experience and want to pass it on, as this example is showing. So it's for kitchen school, right? A night in the kitchen, beautifully wrapped. That's all you need to know. The same with social ads. So going back to the Bloom product, we have like pushing that gift card option through social ads, social advertising on Facebook and Instagram and so forth. It's a very, very powerful. And obviously, like for instance, in December, it's a very, very obvious thing to do that can create a lot of return on ad spend for you in your business. But yeah, where do you start? Kind of going back to the main thesis. So go into your website, do the user testing, answer the kind of key questions that was in this presentation that you will get sent on email, and then fix like kind of the low-hanging fruits, and reach out to me if you need any help. We can definitely assist and advise you to the extent possible. So do that and see higher conversion throughout the upcoming summer season, or whenever you have your kind of peak season next. Final thing maybe is if you are interested in Understory and just to get inspiration, really, I would encourage you to go to this website, which is also in the chat now, but I'll just show you how it works. So this is what we call I just need to get it on the stream like that. So this is what we call the personalized preview. So what you can do here is that you can put in your experience website. So this is a boat company in Copenhagen that I really like going on. Not a customer of Understory yet, but what they can then do is that they can type in the URL, show my solution. And what we then do kind of in the back end is that we go to their website, we kind of get an understanding, and this is only for them, right? So it's not something that will be published or anything. So we go to their website and we look at kind of what they do, like the experience, the tours they do, the images they have, how they talk about their experience, and then we show them how that would look using Understory as a solution and how they could kind of improve their booking solution and booking website with Understory. And it took kind of some seconds, right? Because we are actually doing it live in the back end. And what they have now here is just what it did is that it, again, took their context and put it into like this Understory storefront that is highly conversion rate optimized, right? It does also a lot of the stuff we have talked about, makes it very easy to understand what it is, makes it easy to understand when and how, the price, and then kind of the facts that you also need, right? You can build it into your site, which it also shows with the widget solution we have. You can even see how it looks in the back office, like in the booking system, right, where you would manage this business. Some examples of that, and then how the Bloom product would look as well in terms of advertising. So a very quick way to see how Understory would look, and also just to get inspiration on like how you could tweak your own website. So feel free to use that, and also again just reach out if you want to do it with us. So happy to do that as well. Good. Then jumping back in, and we are about to be at the end. So final thing is questions. You can just write me if you have any questions. There was one up here that I wanted to look at. So it's Erica saying, you mentioned using Viator or Get Your Guide to fill the last few spots, which I think is a great strategy. My concern is that our direct bookings are mostly Spanish-speaking locals, while these platforms attract English-speaking tourists. How do you handle mixed language groups without expecting? Yeah, very, very good point. I think if you are mostly catering to locals, which many of our customers are, that's also the marketplace we were running before that still exists. It's called True Story. That's for locals only, right? And that's the point. So I think if you run a business where you focus on locals and prefer to have locals, I would go for local marketplaces. And there is a lot of local marketplaces also in Spain, right? So finding them, making the collaboration with them, and ensuring that you can kind of integrate with them to some extent so it is fairly automated it would be my recommendation. If you still want to test and try Get Your Guide and Viator, you can definitely do that. And you can obviously just localize the content on Get Your Guide. But the issue obviously is, as you're also speaking into here, is that you might end up with groups of mixed language, and that is tricky. It can be solved in many ways. It also depends a bit on the experience. What I've seen a lot is that if you have a group with some of the people do not speak Spanish, then you speak in English. But if it's like a very detailed history tour, some of the Spanish-speaking guests will not really prefer that. If it's like a chilled boat tour or whatever it might be, or drinking wine, it might be perfectly fine to switch to English. I would say test it, see if it works, get the feedback from the Spanish-speaking guests to see what they thought about it. And if it works right, you can definitely utilize Get Your Guide and Viator. Another alternative that I see a lot as well is to divide it. So you have tours for tourists or English tours, and then you have Spanish tours or Spanish events for local people. That's also a way to do it, and might kind of also increase how you can use your own capacity and do more tours, get more bookings, and earn more money in your business. I hope that it's not kind of straightforward. It is definitely tricky, but I hope that was useful. Yeah, let's see. Anybody else have any questions? If not, there's one here. Perfect. We already have beautiful experience, but we cannot reach a lot of potential customers. With ads, what's the minimum budget to have meaningful impact? Really good question. So it really depends on the business and on the market. What we do say with our Bloom product is that you need to commit to testing it for 2 months, because the algorithm needs to kind of understand your business and work, and our product needs to understand your business and so on. So you need to commit to 2 months, and then you have to spend, like, ballpark numbers, right? 600 to 1,000 euros per month to test it, like, in a good way. That's not that much, right? I know, like, it is a lot of money, but it could be much more. So I think that's kind of the minimum threshold to really give it a good go. But again, on kind of weekly, almost daily basis, you are able to see, does this spend, like, the first 100 euros, do they generate clicks? Do they generate interest? Do they even already generate bookings, and kind of see the return on ad spend on it? So yeah, simple, 2 months, let's say, to keep it simple, 2,000 euros. That should be enough for a normal business to test it out in terms of social advertising. Then what I would also do is I would kind of pair that with Google advertising, right? Most importantly, actually, to cover your own brand, because there's a lot of spillover. So when you do a lot of push marketing on social ads, you are creating interest that might not click immediately, or they might click and then go out, and then later they might be on another device and they remember your name and they'll go to Google and search for Pedal and Pause. And then you need to ensure that they find you, right? So bidding on your own brand on Google and kind of related keywords is very important. It's fairly cheap, and that's a really good kind of coupling with the social advertising. So really recommend that to capture it all and ensure the marketplaces don't get those clicks, right? Because it's your brand, you deserve the traffic. I think that's kind of how I would approach that. Do we have any other questions? We have one more. Perfect. So let's say I have a newly started experience business that uses Understory for handling bookings, etc. Money is tight, so I can't afford to spend money on paid ads. Really good point. What organic initiatives would you recommend until cash flow is steady enough for me to launch paid ads? I would start out by, just from the top of my head, right? I would start out creating the experience. You already did that. Then I would start out having the first, let's say, 4 or 5 events or kind of dates. Then I would just make sure to fill up those seats with friends, families, friends of friends, whatever it might be, right? And then I would get all the good reviews on that, and I would start doing organic social. I would see if I could partner up with small influencers on Instagram, for instance, to have them promote your experience, to kind of and kind of use that social proof in that as well to get more organic reach, and maybe pay them with like some free tickets. And then what I would consider also is obviously you need the gift card solution very early on, because that can actually fund some of your advertising early on as well. And then I would consider marketplaces, right? Because the good thing about marketplaces is that even though they charge a high commission, it's in most cases no cure, no pay, right? So you don't pay them if they don't generate revenue, meaning it's higher cost but more low risk. So that's how I would approach it. And then you would fairly quickly get to a state where you might have 300 euros or 500 euros to spend on social advertising. And when you do that, you start getting the bookings. And the amazing part about direct is you get the money straight away. So if you use Understory, for example, and Understory Pay, you get the revenue immediately right into your bank account, also the gift card volume. And that can fund like the next phase of social advertising and so on. So pretty quickly, you should be able to get to a self-funding advertising track, even though the business is still small and kind of the resources and money are a scarce resource. That's kind of how I think about it and would approach it. So hope that makes sense. And definitely have the post-experience flow set up immediately as well. Yeah, and Marco is saying that I might be in a similar situation. So I hope the reply makes sense to you as well, Marco. We all are. Yeah, it's definitely it's tricky getting started, but that's what we're here to help you with. It's definitely a struggle, but also amazing when it works. Awesome. Any more questions? And otherwise, we're also getting close to time. All good. Listen, this was the first time we did this theme, so definitely a bit rocky at times. Appreciate you kind of attending the first, not test, but the first run of it. I hope it was useful. Really happy you joined in. Connect with me on LinkedIn, write me an email, get in touch with Understory in general if you want to learn more about our product, and just have an amazing day, and hope to see you in future webinars as well. Thank you very much, guys, and take care.